All right, folks, a pleasant good evening from Monrovia. I'd like to welcome all of you to this very special interview live at the headquarters of the Liberian National Police. Um, this is a continuation of a live broadcast we did just this afternoon when at the residence of Mr. Samuel Jackson, and we did speak to him. He gave us his side of the story with respect to um, the police deployment. He gave us a background of the entire situation, and then we thought to reach out to the Liberian National Police to get the police version of the story, if you may, and get some update with respect to what actually transpired, why the huge police deployment at Mr. Jackson's residence, and so forth. So, thanks for joining us. I'm Nelson Colette. We have before us the spokesperson of the Liberian National Police, um, um, Mr. Sam Collins. DCP Sam Collins, yeah. Welcome to this special interview. It's good to have you. How are you?
Thank you, Colette, and let me say good evening to all of our viewers, and good evening to those who have joined in live to get the actual information from the Liberian National Police.
Straight into it, we woke up to the situation this afternoon. First of all, Mr. Jackson's wife is pronounced dead. Following that, there's a huge police deployment at his residence in Old Road. What prompted the police deployment at Mr. Jackson's residence?
Well, like you said in the intro of your question, as it relates to police deployment, I don't know when you refer to a huge deployment, but police are currently deployed at the home of Mr. Jackson because we are conducting what I refer to as a very active homicide situation that occurred overnight at the home of Mr. Jackson. And the police have requested that he help with this ongoing investigation, something that he agreed to initially, but later on he became hostile and turned it down. Police investigators have gone in to examine the scene of the investigation. And so because of his non-compliance posture put up this evening, the police will remain deployed at the scene because he has been declared as a person of interest. And we also see him as a flag race, meaning that he's somebody that can escape the country at any time. And so because he has turned down a peaceful invitation extended him by the Liberian National Police, we want to remain on ground until finally he can accept our to come over to the headquarters of the Liberian National Police.
So where are we now with respect to this entire process? Because you just mentioned an active homicide investigation that's ongoing. Where are we now? Is going pretty close to maybe 18 or 20 hours since the pronouncement was made.
Well, like you said initially, during the beginning of this interview, you talk about deployment. I assume that I agreed to that. Yes, indeed, we have officers deployed within the home or the vicinity of the home, and we got notice that an incident took place. In fact, it was announced by Mr. Jackson, and the police created interest in what he said on his official social media page. We visited the GFK along with representative of Mr. Jackson, and we also have representatives coming from the South African Embassy, and we also have the coroner from Osceola County. An initial examination was seen on the crops of the body, and we observed a very deep laceration on the crown of the head. That is the crown of the head of the deceased. And so we got interested in carrying on further investigation, and we saw what appeared to be bruises on the crops of the body. That
bruises?
Yeah, that show some form of domestic assault. And so we are investigating what actually led to the death of this lady, who is indeed a South African national.
Now, with everything that's happening now, Mr. Jackson has also told us that two of his workers were taken by the police. Were they arrested, or are they being brought in to help with investigation? What is the situation? What's the actual story around that information when he said that two of his workers were being brought in by the Liberian National Police?
It is something that I can confirm to you. And the reason behind it, they are all persons of interest. We've been informed by Mr. Jackson himself that those that were brought in by the Liberian National Police helped to clean up what appeared to be blood on the scene of the incident. And if you give us that kind of information, we have to create interest into it. And so those two individuals are actually persons of interest, including Mr. Jackson. So that is the reason why they were brought into the police department.
I want to get that part. The two individuals, were they the ones who admitted to cleaning the blood, or was it Mr. Jackson who said that they did?
The information was that Mr. Jackson also alluded, and so they were brought in by the police department as person of interest. Now, let me make this clear. You could be invited as a person of interest. It does not necessarily mean that you are under arrest. Now, when the police start to speak to a person of interest and the police establish grounds that can lead to an arrest, you'll be informed that you are under arrest. So those persons that the police have spoken to them and the police have brought in, let the public be assured, or let the public be informed that they are individuals of interest, helping the police with this investigation until later.
At some point, he mentioned that there was a visitation at the mall and some investigation, forensic investigation or whatever was conducted on the remains of his wife without his consent. How true is that information?
We are investigating an alleged homicide. We do not need the consent of Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson has been declared by the Liberian National Police as a person of interest. Now, he blew an alarm of his wife falling ill during the course of the night, and he could not get ambulance to take her to the nearby medical center. That is a concern. He should be the one assisting the police to carry on the necessary investigation. But mind you, after the investigation, after the South African delegation, the South African representative, and the police investigator and the coroner saw the body, the police reached out to Mr. Jackson and said, "Hey, we need to speak to you after we have done this initial investigation." Mr. Jackson said that he has not had 30 hours of sleep and he needed time. And he proposed to the police that, "Hey, allow me to sleep because for the last 30 hours I have not been able to sleep. I will join the police tomorrow, which is Saturday." Then the police had said that we want to see the scene of this incident. He agreed to police investigators. Police investigators arrived at the scene, and to our dismay, he became hostile. He began raining invectives on the officers.
So does that mean?
So after that, and this is what prompted the deployment. After that, after he agreed that we get at the home to see the scene or to examine the scene, and later on again refusing to allow police investigators, then the police were left with no alternative but to have men deployed. Because he is a police, and he became very hostile to police investigator, and we believe that he should be the one assisting officers of the Liberian National Police because he blew this alarm.
Now, you mentioned the South African. You mentioned something about South African delegation. You care to
representative
South African representative
embassy, because the victim in question is indeed a South African national, and they have created interest into it. So the police went to the with the representative from the South African embassy, with the representative of Mr. Jackson, and the coroner from Maserati County.
When are we expected to see Mr. Jackson?
Well, the
Come
best
in
thing,
at
the
the
best thing that
police.
Mr. Jackson can come to is, the best thing that Mr. Jackson can do right now is to cooperate with the Liberia National Police. We empathize and sympathize with him in this situation, but there are questions that he needs to answer, and he cannot do it outside of the police department. So we call on him to, he will make it tonight. He will come over tonight and turn himself over to the Liberian National Police, and that would be good for the investigation. And let me also say here that he remains innocent until his alleged guilt can be proven by the court of competent jurisdiction. But we see him as a person of interest, and he must cooperate with police investigators in the investigation.
Well, thanks a lot for granting this special interview with Spoon
And so,
TV.
yeah,
Any
so
other thing you want to?
yeah, let me just recap that Mr. Jackson blew the alarm of his wife passing off, but the information available to the police and led the police to visit the body for examination, and that examination was done in the presence of the South African embassy representative. They were also done with Mr. Jackson's representative and police investigator.
His representative?
Yeah,
Did he send
Oh, yes,
representatives?
yes. He cooperated from the initial start of the whole thing, having us going to look at the body. And let me tell your viewers also that there was an attempt by Mr. Jackson to remove the body from the hospital, from the mortuary, and take it to a funeral home.
You said there was
Yeah,
an attempt?
yeah, there was an attempt.
How did the police establish that attempt?
But how?
How was
We got informed. We got informed. Everything that we do here, we do it by intelligence. And also, a hold has been placed on the body. There will be an autopsy to establish further cause as to what led to her death. All we're asking Mr. Jackson is to cooperate with police investigators. So thank you so much for this time. And we ask members of the public to keep following the Liberian National Police for update on this situation. Please do not listen to people who will spin this situation to suit them, but listen to the Liberian National Police. We go into the case with an open mind, with an open hand. We go into the case with all that we have in terms of our professionalism. And we want to urge the public to remain calm. The police will continuously update the public as it relates to this case. We take it very, very seriously. Mr. Jackson is indeed a person of interest. Thank you so much.
Just before we go, finally, there are others who, since we started this coverage, have held the view that due to the nature of the situation, the fact that he's grieving the loss of his wife, the police moving in at this time and inviting him, getting him to come before the police to answer person of interest. Some people are saying that the time is not right for it. As much as it's important to enforce the law, but there are some who think that he's grieving and he should just grieve, and after that, the investigation can continue.
We respect the views of those who are making the comments, and opinions are like noses, and everybody has one. So everybody is entitled to their opinion. But let me state here that let them also allow the police to do their job. Because let me tell you, we are investigating an alleged homicide case, any attempt to delay the crime scene may get contaminated. And so if we have to wait for Mr. Jackson to grieve, probably it may take him for 10 months, it may take him for 10 years before the police can investigate. Then we'll not have anything to investigate. So now that we are immune, at the beginning of my interview, I said to you that we do extend sympathy to him, and we do extend sympathy to the bereaved family, including him. And so let the public just allow the police to carry on a piece of professional work. We know that it's grieving, but allow us to do our job, because our job is very much important. And mind you, you are being informed in this interview that somebody have already started to wipe blood away. That is, the crime scene has already been contaminated. So if we have to give Mr. Jackson 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to grieve, it means that we may not even have something to push forward with the case. And so those officers will remain deployed. Mr. Jackson can turn himself over to the police department and as a person of interest. And if the investigation established that we have to move forward, we'll definitely inform the public.
He mentioned that the police didn't have so we're about to end now. But he mentioned that the police doesn't have a search warrant, and that's why he's not giving access.
You have to give access. You will definitely have to give access, and because this case is a very serious case, like any other case that we have been investigating, and we think that he have granted a lot of interview. We take the interview that he granted very seriously. And so all we urge is that to cooperate with the Liberian National Police.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for talking to us.
Thank you also. Yeah, thank you also. And please follow the Liberian National Police for updates. Do not listen to any blogger. Do not listen to any analyst, because analysts will take it from a different point. We as professionals going to approach the case with a very open mind. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot thanks a lot for granting this interview. Folks, we want to say thanks a whole lot as well to all of you for watching Spoon TV. We ask you to keep following as we're posted to provide all of the updates on this particular case as the situation unfolds. But earlier we were at the residence of Mr. Jackson, and we did bring you the live coverage from there, and we had a couple of interviews with him, and he has been expressing himself on different issues, the circumstances surrounding this situation with his wife. At the moment, again, we will repeat that our condolences to Mr. Jackson and the family, but we thought to head over to get the police side of the story, to speak with the spokesperson of the Liberian National Police, to know exactly what the story is from the angle of the Liberian National Police, since in fact we had earlier heard